everybody. Hello. As I like to say, near and far, let's join together at this moment. Hi. Hey. So, I kind of did a little challenge. I had been seeing this little challenge going around the internet of reading a book a day for X amount of days. So I was like, yo, I really like reading. I read a lot. Why don't I go ahead and give this a jab? So I had a set of what one would call plans. And that was to go to my father's bookshelves, pick out 5 books that I would read in the course of the next 5 days, and that would be my challenge. And that's all there was to it. No ifs, ands, or buts, nothing more, nothing less. I was stuck. I am going to tell you the truth off the bat. Reading a book a day is really, really hard, especially if you do not plan ahead of time to have just like free time to sit down and read. And I don't mean like free time as in 20 minutes, but more so like 2 hours, because you can finish a book in 2 hours. You get what I'm throwing at you? So I went and I picked out 5 books. I felt it in me and was like, Sarah, these are the books that you're gonna read. So I picked them out. As you can see, lo and behold, I did not stick to the 5 books that I had originally chosen. 2 of them, yes, I did, but the other ones, I did not. Okay, so first off, I only read 4 books. Why is that? Because my time management isn't the flippin' best, but also I didn't put my head in the game like I should have. Basically, let's talk about the books that I read before my experience of this challenge, because that's kind of really why I wanted to make this video, not just to talk about the books, because I would like to do a video of that on its own, but to talk about what I got from doing that challenge, right? So the first book that I read is called The Neighborhood. It looks like this. It's got a crazy old raven on the front with an axe. Scary, am I right? I'm right. The next book that I read is called A Child's Book of True Crime. Okay, now those are the 2 that, let me tell you, were my father's. Okay? So, I already knew the dude was into weird shit, because he'd like look at me. But yeah, it was really interesting. Then next I read The Alchemist, which is a book I have been wanting to read for a really, really long time because of you guys. So thank you Tiffany for sending me this book and his amazing collection of books. And also thank you guys for recommending it to me to get me in the spunk to want to read it all. I loved it. I loved it. And you guys, if you know me, right, which some of you don't, you'll know it's kind of hard for me to get stuck into stories. And that's literally what these 3 books were. Nothing but stories with characters. And for someone who barely remembers their own name, it's a little hard for me to keep up on tabs when it's somebody else, their family, their agenda. It's like, give me a pen and pad, please. Sorry. And that's so sorry. And then the last book that I decided to read was Discovering Your Personality Type. Which again, thank you Tiffany for sending me these amazing books. I will kid you guys not, all of the most amazing books that I get and I read are mostly sent from you guys. There's one that I really, really want to talk about, but that's for my next video, right? Because I don't want to get like too deep into what these books are about, because that's for the next video, right? I must tell you, if I would have known I could read a book in a day way back when I was in high school, my high school career would have been so much more simple, you guys. I mean, in regards to any subject, like not just English, you know? Not just English. I'm like, I can't even concentrate, it's so hot. If I would have known that in one day I could have read a book that was through the whole semester what we needed to read, read it in one day, then been able to go back throughout the rest of the semester and literally annotate it, reread sections I already read because I read it in a day, right? Be that kid. Be that kid. My life would be so much more freaking easy. Why am I telling you this? Because I want to challenge you guys to read at least one book a day. Just start out with that. Did I challenge myself for 5 straight days? Bruh, smack me in the face with some blog? No. That was impossible. It's not impossible because literally there's people that were like, I read a book a day for a month. And I'm like, okay, let me sit down. And then there's others who are like, yo, I read a book in a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong with society? Not training our brains, right? Can you repeat after me? We train our brains. You do not, oh my God. Do not let them control you. Be the ruler of your own destiny. Okay, so back to being serious. I loved it. Okay, one, I felt like I was just accomplishing something. If you're somebody who like doesn't really normally give themselves a pat on the back as much as you should, try it. Dude, even try challenging yourself to reading half of a book a day. If you challenge yourself to do something, and then you do nothing, that is failure. But if you challenge yourself to do something and you at least put forth the effort to try to complete that challenge, bruh, blow your own hair back. Like, am I wrong or am I right? I'll let you pick that one out. But what I would like to tell you guys is, one, I was joking myself and kidding myself, telling myself over and over again, girl, you can't remember character names. You can't remember plots like that and shit. But I'm serious, you guys. I felt compelled. It makes me want to keep going. It makes me want to make this stack even bigger than it is. And isn't that just the beauty of life, right? Finding new avenues of ways to discover new things about yourself. Call me tacky, but I'm, oh my God. Okay, so I will be honest though, it does kind of make you feel out of touch. I mean, not that I already don't. But more so meaning like if you're hanging out with friends but want to read, it's really hard. Like you kind of have to, I mean sometimes I'm getting better at multitasking, but sometimes it's hard, especially if you're like caught up in it. It's like when you're caught up in watching a movie and somebody says something. You don't hear them, like you hear them, but you don't hear them because you're so just sucked into what the hell you're doing. So that's kind of like what happened to me with some books. I'd be like, shit, I'm still a person too. Like I'm not just in my own imagination, which kind of crazy up there. So honestly, another thing that I tried to tell myself is, yo, don't pick a book that's too freaking long. So I think the shortest book I read was like 185 pages. The longest was like 280. I was able to finish them because one, I forgot what I was gonna say. But one, it motivated me to keep going because I knew it wasn't too long. Now, if I were to have chosen a book like The Frickin' House of Leaves, what? Yeah, that would be really hard to try to read in one day. And it would probably cause you to have arachnophobia. So, in other words, I would not recommend that. But then again, you don't have to listen to anything that I say. I'm just kidding. I just honestly, I know it's kind of like a silly and short video. But I did it, you know? I didn't successfully finish the last book that I was going to read, and it was because I could not get hooked into it. And then I was planning on reading another book by but time flew. Like, I literally got busy doing jack shit. No, I'm just kidding. I just got busy doing little goofy things. Expand your mind, you guys. Like, for how long, if we summed up a total of how long we spent on social media, or spend watching YouTube videos when we could be feeding our minds. Like, I understand that some stories aren't for everybody. That, you know, people might not like the idea of even stories. Find a category of books that you really like. You know, if you like science, read about science. Or if you love religion, dude, find books that just keep the page turning. And then also what's cool is to find an author that once you put that book down, you're just like, all right, where's the next one? As you know, being able to... Because I'm going to be honest, I swear to God, when I was in high school, I hated reading. I did not like reading. I didn't. I read, but I did not read like this. It wasn't until like, whoa, 2 years ago maybe, I started really reading. And it was because I started finding books that I liked. In school, you're told what to read. You're forced what to read. And then that makes it not fun to then make yourself do it for real on the side in your free time, right? When you kind of don't have that anymore, which I need to go back to school. You kind of just realize, like, yo, there is a lot of things out there that I could be teaching myself, you know? And I think that's something that is very powerful that we have in our hands, you know? Endless amounts of knowledge from endless amounts of people, not just born in this generation, not just living in today's society's terms and expectations. There's people from way long ago who aren't even here anymore, who I guarantee you has such greater things and messages to put forth than even the people that are really, like, speaking out today, you know? I don't know. I haven't made any book videos in a really long time, and that, you know, like, when you get kicked off the bandwagon, you kind of got to chase it and then get back on. So now that I'm back on it, I'm here and I'm able to do that exactly. So yes, my next video, because I have been having so many requests on some good self-help books, healing books, all of that stuff. I know I am a sucker for saying that I'm going to do something and then it takes me like 2 weeks to do it, but I really have been trying to get these challenges. I'm just kidding. I've really been trying to get myself to stick to my word, you know, not get distracted, not let mental health get in the way, not let any external factors F with your mood. So yeah, I thought it would be really interesting, even if it's like in one video, to do my top 5 recommended books, my top must-read books right now, or, you know, my top 5 self-help books, my top 5 scary books, because I love scary books too, you know, kind of weird. And another thing is, the reason why I didn't want to get too deep into some of these books right now is because some of them I don't believe are appropriate for a young person to be reading. So, I mean, to each his own. The shit I was watching and reading when I was young, Lord help me. But yeah, they're really interesting and kind of sick and gross, and some, like, I read about some things, but then I've never read about other things. Not read about, but like read. That's for another day. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was really short. I'm going to try to include snippets. I kept forgetting that, like, I wanted to record myself reading, because I watched so many people's videos that were, you know, along the same lines of them doing the book challenge, and I loved how relaxed it looked, and they showed them reading books outside and in the rain and going for walks, and then I'm over here freaking out a kitchen table with like half my neck showing and not even 2 pages being read. I'm gonna get better at it. I think, like, I tried to time-lapse some of the things, as you see. Practice and progression. I look forward to my next video, where I show you and shit what is in these books. I also thought it would be a really, really fun idea to show you guys how I annotate and read my books. It's super fun, it's super fresh, and it's super clean. And I think that might help people who are currently in school. Once I started writing inside of my books, my life changed. A door opened that was once closed. And I just realized, like, yo, not only does it help me remember better, but it just makes me a better person. Just kidding. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am going to Paris. Pretty. I'm kidding, I'm not. Maybe one day. Not right now, though. So, with that, toodaloo.